working, you've told the system, you're still working.
Yeah.
When you retire, or maybe before you retire, do you ever think about going into politics? Do you think Nigeria needs men like you?
We're all political animals, one way or the other, all right?
Okay.
So do I think I will give back to the community? Yes, I think that we all need to contribute in one way or the other. Okay, what have I tried to do so far? Probably reaching out to some of the people I know and share thoughts or ideas. Whatever. The way our politics is structured today, it appears a tough one, all right? If I went out and said I wanted to campaign, I probably do not have the kind of resources.
You think so?
I know so. I don't have the required. However, I believe that as we start to drive thought leadership and having the right conversations, the opportunities might arise. I do not believe that I necessarily have to be the one to lead.
Okay.
There are younger people who are coming up, and if you can give them the right advice and support,
okay,
right, then you can help the process. Leadership is not about you being in authority. Leadership is about helping either craft a vision, helping enabling that to happen, helping drive the execution of that. And you can do it without necessarily being the guy at the top. So will I serve my community? Yes. In what form? I have no clue yet. But I can do it without being in an elective position or a political position.
Yeah, Bill Clinton in one of his books said that after having been president of the United States, that it was easier to achieve anything outside of politics than within politics, because you had to appease everybody, you have to pass it through all forms of rigorous checks.
Yeah.
But if you were just a layman by yourself, you could just go ahead and do good and do what you have to do without you going through bureaucracies and what have you. So, but you're still going to, you might find a way of leading, helping people in your own way.
Yeah, I do.
And you see that as politics too.
I do a bit of, is it mentoring?
Mentoring?
And talks, especially on leadership, on career, on building yourself, even for small businesses, right? I do it. I also do it as part of my job, because I believe that if you have business partners who are working with you, customers who are working with you, you have a burden of responsibility to help them build sustainable businesses. So it's not just about how much money you make, it's how you build them to be sustainable. Wow. So it's not just a tick box because it's a job. I see my job as a position of privilege, right, with a burden of responsibility to help either consumers, to help people who are employees, to help our suppliers or customers. And if we all do our own bit in our little spheres, it's very easy how we can start to build the nation. We ascribe too much power to the politicians. Yes, they have, but actually we can make a difference in our own little spheres.
And do you think education would play a good
Education
part?
is critical, because education helps to address one fundamental thing, right? I have a couple of principles that I always refer to. One is that life is about choices. Now, how do you make choices? That's where education comes in, because the purpose of education, if I borrow the words of Martin Luther, is about the capacity to think intensely and make critical choices. So the reason why you learn about stuff or you learn about different things is to help you in making choices in life, because you require that. Where you have an educational system that does not build the capacity of people to think critically, you will have problems. That's why we have a lot of certificated graduates without the capacity to think. Now, people might accuse me to say, why do you say people don't have the capacity to think? But I use very simple examples. So one is the Ebola crisis. There are people who are spreading, you just shower with salt water. Meanwhile, if anybody who did basic biology in secondary school up to Form 5, you should know that that thing doesn't work. And yet people who were educated were passing around. So when I see a lot of those things, I question the quality of the education. If you cannot critically challenge every statement that is made, and before you apply those things for yourself.
Does education and religion, from your perspective, are they things that can go hand in hand? Can someone be well educated, be the kind of thinker that you expect and still be religious?
Again, if we go back and look at the laws of God,
Okay.
right? They're all they're the laws of nature. They're natural laws.
Okay.
They apply everywhere. If you go, it's the same. If I use the Bible, for example, right? What you sow is what you reap. There's a Bible that says, "As a man thinketh, so he is." There's the same Bible that says, "Have you seen a man excellent at his craft? He will stand before kings." So why don't we quote those, right? Why don't we look at those? They are fundamental principles that guide life. We focus on the ones that, okay, miracles. Yes, miracles happen.
Okay.
But miracles happen to show the limitation of man. Miracles do not happen to cover your laziness or your lack of having to apply yourself. Parable of the 10 talents. One was given 10, doubled it. One was given 5, doubled it. One was given 1, he buried it in the ground, right? There are many people who are burying their talents in the ground and they're expecting a miracle.
Wow.
He will not give you anything that you do not have the capacity to overcome. So there's no difference, right? Good education actually helps you in your religious life. Again, it's in the same scripture that says, okay, the best people are those who, after listening to the sermon, they go back to the holy book and they check whether what the man said versus what is in the holy book is consistent. You don't take everything your pastor or your imam says hook, line, and sinker. That shows the lack of quality thinking.
Which is education.
So both go hand in hand, right? The basis of law, the basis of having society, right? A lot of those moral laws are framed in religion, right? And why? Because religion is about you, not just your interaction with God, but your interaction with the fellow man. If you take the 10 commandments, the first 5 are about your relationship with God. The second 5 are about your relationship with your fellow man.
Yeah.
Again, Jesus Christ simplified it and says, okay, you have 2 laws. Love your God with all your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. At the heart of these 2 lies every commandment.
Yeah.
Because if you love your neighbor, you will not steal from him. You will not kill him. You will not do this. You will be considerate of his needs. Are these things not the things that if we practice, our nation will be better?
When were you ordained, sir?
I'm not a pastor. I am not a pastor, but I had my background